Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Apollas Odyssey. I'm your host, Apolla Asteria, and tonight we are going to be doing a roundtable discussion here on my show. I invited many of my favorites from the UFO disclosure community to come on, who are authors, my fellow show hosts from Third Phase of Moon. And we have a lot of people ready to come on. Also, some researchers and other speakers in the community. So this is going to be a really fun show tonight. So basically, what we're going to be getting into is the UFOs being shot down nationwide, and it's starting to look like around the world as well. That has been brought out on mainstream media over the past couple weeks, and I've been really excited to get into this. So I decided it would be great to just have everyone on and discuss their thoughts on it, whether it's military, they think it's military foreign powers, whether it's something from our own government or aliens. So let's see what everyone thinks. And before I get into that, I just want to share with you all that I will be sharing my spears or selling my spears at Alien Con in Pasadena this weekend. So that's going to be really fun. If you're in the LA area or anywhere in California, it's definitely easy to get to. You can go check that out at thealiencon.com. A lot of people from the show Ancient Aliens are going to be speaking there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And also, if you want to help support my show and everything I'm doing, the best way to do that is to purchase my art over at shamanspears.com. I have the latest collection of shaman spears, which are uniquely handcrafted channeling devices I invented myself. And they're kind of like a mix between wands and spears. They're all filled with copper coils, crystals, magnets, and sand I collect from sacred places around the world down the insides. So that is all over on shamanspears.com. So I think at least 5 people confirmed to come on my show tonight. I'm going to be going live for probably 2 hours, maybe more. Who knows? But I just told everyone that they can come on anytime, between 5 and 7 p.m. And it looks like we have Brad Olson in the house to start us out tonight. So let's go ahead and bring him on.
Hey, Apolla. Yeah, I like to be punctual for roundtables like this. And I'm working out of the ranch right now, so my tethering with my cell phone is a little spotty. It's good that I have my little talk about what's going on with UFOs, and if I have to break off, I might, is what I'm trying to preface by saying. But hey, great to be here. I'm psyched to see you at Conscious Life Expo and selling the shaman spears, which are very, very cool pieces of art. If anybody is unfamiliar with them, next time you see Paul at one of these shows, check one of those things out. They're really made solid and artistic and very beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight, Brad. I was going to ask, are you in Antarctica? I mean, are you in India? Like, you're always somewhere. I'm surprised you're not on the road. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. I thought that it would be really interesting to get everyone on here and have their thoughts on, all these UFOs being shot down nationwide. And I believe, around the world now as well, they're starting to report in the media. So You are always an encyclopedia of information, and I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts on this topic. So, where would you like to start with this? What are your thoughts?
Well, just to let you know, a basic overview of where I'm at, which happens to be in UFO Alley in Nevada, not too far, and surrounded basically by a lot of Air Force bases and other military installations in Northwest Nevada. And I'm starting to hear people talking about seeing sightings in Mason Valley, where I'm at, and the next one over Smith Valley, and then the next valley over there, you're up into Tahoe. So the other cool thing about being out here on the ranch, well, I'm getting a lot of work done, physical work. That's my never knew shoveling could get you in such great shape.
Oh, definitely.
But I'm also around the ancient lake bed, once known as Lake Lahontan, which spanned the entire northern part of Nevada, even into Utah, parts of Oregon, and a corner of northeastern California. It was a massive inland freshwater sea, and this is where the giants lived. Not too far away, 30 miles as a bird flies outside of Fallon, Nevada, is Spirit Cave, close to where I'm at, and then also the famous Lovelock Cave near the town of Lovelock, which I've been to.
Oh,
And,
wow. Is that near you?
well,
Lovelock?
120 miles away, but that's how big this Lake Lahontan was, spanning hundreds of miles across the entire state of Nevada.
Wow.
And even in my valley, but all around, when you've been to Burning Man, you can see the striation marks on the side of all the mountains of where the lake level used to be. And when it was at its highest point about 12, 13,000 years ago during the last ice age, these caves, which were close to being at the lake level at its highest, that's where the giants lived. And
so are you saying the redheaded giants, these are the redheaded giants, right? The
redheaded mummified giants.
There used to be redheaded giants at where Burning Man is now. Basically.
They were probably navigating the lake 200 feet above water on Lake Lahontan. They definitely circumnavigated that lake and were using it as a resource in hunting and fishing, trapping. They've even created such intricate designs with weaving that they have no other choice, these standard archaeologists, but to have named it the Lovelock culture. And I've seen them in museums, these duck decoys, which are super realistic. So they're very, very smart to be able to do this and living on the land, but it seems like they were just a lost tribe that were all over the place. Even the Kennewick man in eastern Washington state is quite an anomaly and very, very old. So everything gets dated older and older and older. And that's why I like being out here, because now I'm going to start mounting adventures, and with any luck, we'll unbury a giant right outside of my valley here.
Well, that is really awesome. It's definitely a very interesting location out there in the desert. Anywhere around Nevada and California, like the border around there, is very interesting. I've definitely had some pretty major UFO sightings there myself. That's for sure. So, I guess I forgot to kind of get into your background with, your books and, obviously you're a publisher. Did you want to get into that a little bit before we get into the topic tonight?
Well, sure. Yeah. I do a lot of interviews right now. I'm talking about my latest book, Beyond Esoteric, and it's chock full of all this stuff, including giants and all these topics we like to delve into. And out here on the ranch, I have my infrared sauna. I was just taking it before this show today after doing some heavy labor and feeling pretty good. Mm-hmm. And on my iPhone is just playing random video audio I did. And the very first time I was on Coast to Coast was 10 years ago. And that was also when Future Esoteric came out. So I've been working on this book series for 10 years, but I'm listening to the audio. Normally I just skip it. I don't like hearing myself or going back on my interviews, but I was trapped in the infrared sauna. So I listened to the whole thing. I gave myself a B- because I'm my best critic, I suppose. However, what I was saying was it was so much about the extraterrestrials, about the others. And one of the reasons I gave myself a full letter grade lower is because now I'm quite aware that a lot of them are human made.
Mm.
And being so close to Nevada testing grounds and Fallon Air Force Base just over the next mountain range and Area 51 due south and all kinds of underground features that I'm discovering, there are a lot of human-made crafts. And that's exactly what Bob Lazar said he was doing out of S4 in the Area 51 part of the Nellis Range, which, by the way, is controlled by Edwards Air Force Base in the Mojave Desert, California. That's the brains of the whole Nellis, Area 51, S4, even the position that Charles Hall said he encountered the Tall Whites, which is Area 54, just outside of Indian Wells as you're almost approaching Las Vegas from the north. So it's chock full, this state. And so when I was listening to my Coast to Coast today, thinking, yes, there's definitely an alien element in all this, but they're very advanced. And as you know, Apolla, there are good ones and there's bad ones. And the good ones they're not going to directly get involved unless we're hurling nuclear bombs at each other over the Arctic Sea. Then they'll probably knock some of those down. But they have technology so far from anything we think we can match with the sort of military of our understanding. I'm sure it's very, very far advanced, as well as the whole ability of backward engineering these crafts. They're very realistic. They've been flying them. The Nazis really were the modern progenitors of Earth-made UFO craft. So we got all their scientists with Project Paperclip and had them come over here and work for us, and Werner von Braun starting up NASA. And that's a really interesting connection to all the UFO sightings that we're having right now, because Werner von Braun was actually an officer, an SS officer. There's some very rare photos of him wearing the double lightning bolts on his collar. Telltale sign.
I've actually been watching the TV series Strange Angel, I just finished it, and it is incredible. I don't know if any of you out there have seen that, but that is actually on Jack Parsons, the founder of JPL, his story and like his relations with Werner von Braun and also his relations with a certain secret society. It's very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you may be aware that on his deathbed, turns out Werner von Braun had a conscience and saw the potential of danger in the wrong hands, just to paraphrase President Eisenhower in his 1960 farewell speech, that there was this rise of this group of people that could get to the point of capturing this technology and using it in misplaced ways, as Eisenhower said, the misplaced power. And this is what the cabal did, a power grab, and they got. So it puts us in a very peculiar position, because now they have all the toys that they could use to pull off Project Bluebeam. And we'll get into that in a minute, and how I keep making warnings on social media. If they ever do the alien space show, don't believe it. It's all fake. And that's exactly what Werner von Braun said to his assistant, Carol Rosen, in the 1970s, that the last hand that would be played would be the fake alien invasion, which would take the planet into such a change-up phase that they would roll out their new world order.
Well, I did. Wait, so Werner von Braun said that?
He did.
I didn't realize he was the one who had said that. That's very interesting. Wow.
And that it would take several phases to the rollout. And one of those early phases of Project Bluebeam is there would be massive earthquakes in highly sensitive archaeological areas that
Turkey?
would also, yeah, and Turkey is Göbekli Tepe got rocked by that thing.
Mm.
Plus, that's Aleppo. That's also so many very, very ancient temples in that Syria-Turkey corridor. I know about them, and I've studied them, and I'd love to go visit them, but it's pretty hardcore now, especially after this earthquake, and then there's many more coming.
There are so many sites I want to see there.
That was part of it too. And then with this holographic technology, as well as satellite, and I do believe the 5G will be employed to a certain degree, they're going to do the second coming, the Messiah in Christian countries, Buddha in Buddhist countries, however they could trick people, all the Hindu gods down in India. That would be the coolest place to be for it. But then they're going to use the voice to skull technology, which again has been mastered and used for decades. This is in a way old technology, but maybe the white hats will shoot down the satellites and they can't just do it from ground level, and the whole thing would be glitching out and would be just hilarious. That's the way I'd like to see Project Bluebeam go down. But Werner von Braun said, if they ever pull it off, you just got to let people know it's all fake.
It's interesting to me that I feel like at this point, at least a majority of people I know are aware of Project Bluebeam, but that's probably not saying much because most people I talk to are in the conspiracy disclosure community. But wouldn't you think if like a large number of people or like of the general population, if they all knew about this, then they couldn't pull that card?
Well, it's a desperate move too. And I do go into quite a bit of it in detailed about Project Bluebeam and all the various phases it goes into in Beyond Esoteric. And now that we've seen the opening salvos of, the weather balloon, that's my favorite. A Chinese weather balloon? Are you kidding me? We just saw it traveling the whole time, and we couldn't shoot it down till it already did its surveillance over North America and Canada.
If that's the case, then we are screwed in an alien invasion, like a real, like, scary alien invasion if it happened, Like, right. Come on. It doesn't even make any sense to me. Like, if there was, like, why would the Chinese need a surveillance balloon to, like, look at what's going on from above? Like, couldn't they just use Google Maps and like zoom in on Google Maps? Like, why would they need a balloon for that?
Exactly. Well, here's the thing.
It makes no sense.
Satellite technology is extraordinarily advanced. So much so that a missile could be sent over one of the oceans of this world. And it's so accurate, it could land inside a garbage can. And it does that because so much has been mapped of this planet and is seen in real time with a whole network of satellites up there that you could read a card from a deck of cards. You could see it that well from outer space. So this whole backstory that they're up there for surveillance and they're spy balloons, it's none of that. It can't be any of that because the technology made that so obsolete. What it is a way to condition people that there's UFOs in the sky. It took us that long to figure out that was a Chinese balloon, and now they're starting to shoot them down and it's getting news coverage. This is the setup for Bluebeam. I'm telling you, I'm thinking by this summer that with everything that's happening around the world right now, this is called a strategy of tension. It's how they do false flag attacks and how they bring countries to their knees. And right now, America is being targeted in a strategy of tension to hit us in every possible way. And that's also controlling the weather. It's also using high technology in so many different ways that we can be easily manipulated into believing that they might try this holographic sky show. If it is the final move of these elite, then they're right on schedule to start using predictive programming and start to make us believe that there could be such a thing as our military shooting down a UFO. And again, are you kidding me? First of all, well, they've had 100 years to do it, and conventional weapons, they have force fields that wouldn't allow it.
And crashed UFO recovery has been something that's been going on for a long time from,
totally.
What I've heard.
Turn something off. Oh. And, yeah, exactly. So it makes no darn sense at all that all of a sudden, and the media is getting involved. Oh, the media loves UFOs getting shot down over Lake Huron, up in Canada, Alaska. Where's the latest one? Maybe Georgia. Oh, goodness. Give me a break.
So now it's like
setting it
the
up
meme you posted the other day. All the people who are not conspiracy theorists are like, aliens are here. And then all the conspiracy theorists are like, no, it's not aliens.
You got to understand the human element in all this, and that we have been backward engineering this technology for going on a century. If you consider when the Nazis first started doing it in the 1920s, right after World War I, and it was great at Conscious Life Expo. I became friends with Frank Joseph, who lives right out there near Birch's Garden, and they found the Vril Society's hunting lodge. It's still there. It's just all boarded up, but they found it. I'd love to go visit them and check that out, because it was there that the mediums, the Vril Society, had these female mediums, all with very, very long hair. Maria Orsic and Sigrid was another. And they were so good, so telepathic, so psychic connection with the Aldebaran, that they were able to download through their telepathic exchanges blueprints that could be turned over to the German engineers and manufactured. That's when this all began. So humans have been backward engineering this stuff for a century. And those best scientists, well, where could they go? The Soviet Union, right to a gulag. Britain got a few of the paperclip Nazis, but by far they all wanted to come here. And the ones that escaped, they also went to the Americas, as in South America, as in Antarctica. And there's still that story being played out. So this was the intelligence arm, the Nachtwaffen, and they were also a secret space program run by the exiled Germans in Antarctica and primarily South America. But they had their connection with our paperclip Nazis. And Joseph Farrell, in one of his books, documented how they had diplomatic immunity, and they would always carry these attaché cases that didn't go through customs, going from South America, North America, Central America, over to Europe. They became an intelligence force that was largely stirring the pot, the flame of discontent between the two superpowers. There was always this third force, or the Fourth Reich in the Americas, and that was a chapter in Future Esoteric. So it's very important that we understand that element, that human element, that also aligned with the malevolent ETs who are indigenous, some of them, to this planet, either being test tube produced like most grays, or the reptilians, which were natural birth, but they were born here underground. They've lived here for centuries. Therefore, that's their workaround of the Prime Directive. They are actually from Earth too. That's how they're able to operate and do abductions and a lot of other things, is because they're from here too. But they're malevolent ETs, and they're the real, I would say, the Alpha Draco reptilians. And my understanding is most are gone from the planet now. Now it's going to be up to us as the human race to make our decisions as to what route we want to take our future. And I sure don't want to be in some lockdown passport controlled through this central bank currency and all the stuff they're trying to roll out. So we're literally walking the razor's edge right now of ultimate neo-fascism on this planet, or we shake the yoke of this World Economic for Us group in Davos, Switzerland, the Bilderbergers, Trilateral, CFR. They're all in the control of this hive mind, as David Icke calls it, the cult. And they're not even all the time human. This is how I'm also giving myself an upgrade from 10 years ago on Coast to Coast, because now we also have to factor in hybrids, including hybrids that have lived on this planet. And maybe even some of those giant elongated heads are still alive in the world on the planet today. They just don't want to be seen, or they wear those mitre hats in Vatican City to disguise themselves.
I think Patrick Stewart from Star Wars is one of those people. I kid you
You
not,
got to
when I
meet him,
saw him
right?
in person, yeah,
Yeah.
I was on set with him for like 2 weeks, and in person, his skull, like I swear, it comes back like much further than a normal human. There's some like that guy's a real alien. I really think so, or from that lineage.
I
But
got I
I
got a great
also. Oh,
uh,
sorry, go
uh,
on.
well, I was just gonna say I got a great picture from Brian Forrester of a banker in the Basque region between France and Spain, the Pyrenees Mountains there,
Right.
where most of the Rh negative blood types
I was
live.
just gonna say that the book, I think it was DNA of the Gods. It like in clear detail explains all that, and yeah, that they have like the
I had
almost,
a head way out to
was it
here.
like 80 something percent of the people there are Rh negative, and they have like the extra vertebrae.
Oh, a whole bunch of weird stuff. I get into all the Rh negative stuff in modern esoteric book. So all these great subjects that have just been sequestered and held by the elite, and they're just trying to dummy down the population so we don't think about this stuff. Get into the good stuff that they've been hiding and hoarding to themselves. So that's really what I've endeavored with this 3-part series of books, and each one is unique in its own way. I don't repeat my information. And I might even be working on a 4th one, but just on Antarctica, kicking that idea around. Got a
Wow.
little self-imposed isolation right now out here on my ranch, so it might be a good time to take on some big projects.
Oh, that is perfect. So you don't have any major events coming up?
Well, no, I do. I've got the big one in Sedona in 3 weeks, the Sedona Ascension Conference. Not even. I'll be there the 16th through the 20th. The Suzanne Ross one, and Michael Jaco is going to be there, and a lot of other big names. George Norrie's doing a night, and Billy Carson. So then we're going to do a little exploration around the vortices, show some people who've never been there some of the power of the earth and the vortexes of Sedona. But that'll be after the conference, and then heading on back up here to the Rancho and trying to catch a few more weeks of ski season. This has just been phenomenal. Really record-setting precipitation year. I just saw that
Oh
Palisades,
yeah, it's
formerly known
raining
as Squaw
cats and
Valley,
dogs here.
over 500 inches. Setting, I think their single season records are now being set, and we still have almost 2 more months to go.
Of rainy season, you're saying?
Ski season.
Oh,
They can come in. Storms will come in and drop feet of snow as they've been doing. Just series
wow.
after another have just been slamming us. So I'm out here in northwestern Nevada, and all the locals, they say this is the wettest and the coldest winter that they can remember. Or some of them are harking back to the 70s or something. So it's a freak year, but it's a good thing because now it's making everything wet. The whole western half of the U.S., and this goes all the way out to the Rocky Mountains, have just gotten drenched, and the mountains have gotten feet near record snowfall, and they're still coming in. I just had snow this morning, another inch, and it very rarely snows where I'm at, and if it does, it's gone when the sun comes out. There's an old saying in Nevada that if you don't like the weather, just wait an hour, it'll change, and it always does. Is a lot of extremes, but I like the snow and skiing, so the cold doesn't really get me. And then in the summer, it's Burning Man weather, and you get used to that.
Oh yeah, that was
We'll have to have you
intense
come
this year.
through and check out the ranch, Burning Man. I might try to make it this year.
I love that. Oh, that'd be so great. We should try to camp together.
Yeah, that'd be
fun. Yeah. I don't know what camp I would be with this year if I go, so I'll have to look into that. So I know it looks like Goofon's coming on here soon, so that's cool. I guess I had a couple people cancel last minute. Most people said they're coming on, so I don't know who's all going to be coming on here tonight. But yeah, I mean, did you want to get into? I mean, what are your? So there's probably been, was it 4 UFOs were shot down already so far, supposedly in the last week?
Yeah, I'm losing track. There's just so many. And how the media, this is we can report on it finally. Yeah, right. It's so scripted, just like the pretendency, not presidency.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's our government's like backwards engineered craft and they're using it as like a media manipulation thing, or is it like a foreign powers military powers craft and they're bringing it into our airspace? I mean, what do you think?
Well, Paula, just remember, if you still see the chemtrails, and they were just up there a few days ago where I could see them, as long as they're chemtrailing the skies, they're controlling the weather and they're controlling what happens in that airspace, at least over the countries where they spray the most, which happen to be the Five Eyes: America, Britain, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. Those countries have been really hit the hardest, and all the NATO EU countries get chemtrail sprayed really, really bad. And so as long as they're controlling the airspace, they could pull something off like this Project Bluebeam. And this is why I'm sounding the alarm, because not only will we be much better prepared and not do what they say, because the other phase of Project Bluebeam, once everybody's really on edge, and I think they're going to spring it this summer, when this strategy of tension really reaches the climax and the food runs out. And we've all seen what they've been doing with that. So I hope your audience is knowing that you got to be ready for something very big, because this group,
or you might be eating crickets in a few months.
Or that's the way that goes. But so that they could spring this thing. And I would say that it would tie in with as hard as they could make it. So we're really worried about these tankers in California. Do you know about that? Last week, they were spotted in Stanislaus County, dozens of these oil tankers, just like the ones that derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. Yeah. And now get this. I just came into town on Saturday after skiing, and a friend of mine was attending a beekeepers convention, which I went to, and I found some very helpful information that right now all the beekeepers are descending on the Central Valley of California. 80% in the entire country are coming here in a week and 2 weeks. 80% of all of the hives that pollinate all the plants around the country that move around. So right now they're going in to do the almond orchards. So I'm just very worried that this strategy of tension is going to do an East Palestine type of derailment, toxic cloud that we've seen. That's the level.
In what part of California?
All kinds of signs this was a false flag. Stanislaus County is where the waterway that comes out of Yosemite from Hetch Hetchy Dam, which is why San Francisco has some of the best water in the entire country, because they're getting it right out of the top of the high Sierras.
Oh, wow.
So Stanislaus County is right along the canal that feeds water to millions of people in the Bay Area. Top that off with all the bees that are also doing their thing. You knock them out. What did Albert Einstein said? If you lose the bees, you've just lost a major part of your diet, because they pollinate so much fruit, other vegetables, other trees and nuts and seeds, and so many things that we like that come from the natural world. If that were to be sabotaged, part of this strategy of tension. This is why it's partly a warning, this interview, and going to be on Patriot Underground tomorrow, and Nino and Sean Stone later this month, because this has to be said that we are in a very dangerous period right now, where this is a wounded beast, and they will use every dirty trick they can to try to incite World War III. That's their quickest way out, but we're not going to let them do that either. However, they will try to provoke, and there is nothing that's beneath them to do, because we saw what they did in East Palestine. That was definitely a false flag. Oh, just like the Nord Stream pipeline and so many others. They're relentless until you basically decapitate the beast.
I'm actually going to be going to Ohio in a couple weeks here to be a part of the Serpent Mound event on the equinox with some of the Star Knowledge crew and people connected with that. So That's going to be very interesting. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, should you even go anymore? And I'm like, I feel like that means the land needs, all of us to be there more than ever, for that event. But I'm not sure how far that is exactly from Serpent Mound, but
I
how
know it
much
is.
of like the country or how far out do you think that will affect the nature in the area? Like what's the radius of like contamination?
Yeah, it really broke my heart, that one. That was when we were at Conscious Life Expo 2 weeks ago, now going on 3. It all depended on where the plume of toxic smoke and debris went. And it basically went right up north and east and even hit Montreal, Canada. So there's another thing that got majorly compromised were the Great Lakes, the largest bodies of fresh water in North America. So to lose Erie and Ontario, it still remains to be seen how bad this dioxin is, but certainly all the creeks and all the animals dead, and even deer with the soft tissue like their eyeballs and tongues, which even insects will go for right away, or other animals. Nothing is touching the corpses.
Oh,
They're so
wow.
toxified. And it was a pretty comprehensive kill. Within 100 miles on that northeastern trajectory, you are screwed. And you know what else, Apolla? The highest concentration of off-the-grid Amish and Mennonites also live in Pennsylvania and Ohio, the 2 states that got hit the hardest. So
Wow.
this is the strategy of tension. It has many different ways that this octopus can affect people's lives. And so far, Americans haven't done anything. They're gathering in the millions now in France, in other cities in Europe. In Australia, not as many people down there, so the crowds are not as big. But what is it going to take to get Americans really pissed off? And I think it's coming this summer. And can you imagine how crazy this country is going to be? Even just a sector like 3 states that got an EMP attack and the power went off for a prolonged period of time. Plus, they're controlling the weather, and they move a heat spell right over the top. Hot and humid, 110 degrees in Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm just making it up. But this is how they could hit certain regions really hard, really hard. There's an old saying from the French Revolution that total societal chaos is only 8 meals away.
Oh, wow.
About that. 4 days and a community just goes apeshit crazy.
Wow. And so you were mentioning earlier that Project Bluebeam had to do with the chemtrails, and I was wondering what the connection between that is, like, and how exactly Project Bluebeam works.
Very good question. And that's a big part of it too. And I'm glad we have a little more time to get into it. What is the main component of the chemtrails? What's the number one element found all over the place? It's aluminum. It's aluminum reflective. Reflections are part of the holographic show. Just like you need smoke to do visuals, these are particles up there that will help with the projection of these holographic images. And if those images were telling people during the height of the strategy of tension, when everybody's in the most desperate position they've ever found themselves in their entire lives, and then this UFO with a second coming could really take hold, it would be a sight to behold. To be honest with you, it'll make world history for the end of time. As long as the human race is around, we're going to remember these times, how crucial it is. Right now, it is the crossing. We're finally challenging this global elite that has just been pulling these strings. And then with high technology, they have got to get taken out and out of this equation, because they're so dangerous right now, just like a cornered, wounded animal. Very dangerous times we face right now, and that they might throw this whole thing in the mix. Yeah, spraying the chemies. Exactly. That's part of it, because aluminum, strontium, barium, these minerals that are killing the trees, this is now provable science. Why isn't anybody in the mainstream talking about that? Because
the trees are dying.
Oh, big time. Oh, the whole Pac Northwest. Go up above 3,000 feet and look at a conifer, any pine tree that grows all the way up to high elevation, and you'll see that they're being stressed. They blamed it on the drought. It hasn't really been a drought, and I'm a skier. I'm up here all the time, and I study the weather very closely. So the whole notion of a drought is bullshit. You see those reservoirs dry, they're letting water out. It's like the movie Chinatown. There are agendas within agendas, but now it's the strategy attention, and they're going to hit us every possible way possible. But they're running out of middle management is how Jim Willey has described it. And I think he's right, that the people that were the lieutenants that controlled their little networks, they're getting taken out. And then when it goes up to the captain level, taking them out, then we're getting close to the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. And I think that takedown is also underway. So now it is switched to a purely human element. And this is when it's going to get really, really interesting to see how this all unfolds. Because for the first time in human history, if we can say that most of the malevolent ETs have been extracted, that now it's just humans versus humans. And that's why we're starting to see through their lies. Plus, they're making a lot of mistakes. The cracks are definitely forming, and we're finally seeing who these controlling entities are. And I can't even say they're all human anymore. They're the hybrids. They're the elongateds. And I was going to tell you, Brian Forrester sent me this great picture of a Basque banker with a giant elongated head. They do still live among us, and they're in all these positions of power. And that's what has to go away. Hey, I don't want to keep talking the whole time. I know Rick is on too. And I did have something I got to run out and do here in a moment anyways. So thank you for having me on and letting me give this warning and sign of things to come.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Brad. It was really great to have you on here. As always, you definitely provide a lot of really interesting information. So thank you so much. And everyone, definitely make sure you go check out Brad's books, which are at was it CC Publishing?
CCCpublishing.com, bradolson.com for the upcoming conferences I'll be speaking at. And yeah, you get a signed copy from cccpublishing.com. Those go through my warehouse here, and I can sign copies for people.
Awesome. I'd highly recommend everyone checking those out. Thanks, Brad.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
You too. Bye. All right, well, it looks like we got Richie from Goof On here in the house. While he's getting his camera set up, I'm going to share with you all, there's a few articles that, there's just been so many articles shared by the mainstream media about everything that's going on with all this. And I wanted to pull some of these up because, some of these headlines are crazy. I mean, look at this one from the New York Times says, shoot. I am blocked from there, but inside the hunt for UFOs at the end of the world. And it looks like I can't read more of that article because I will not pay for New York Times. And what else do we have here? Also, US has shot down UFOs over Lake Huron and Canada. And that is by livescience.com. I think came out a couple months ago or a couple of days ago. And Richie, are you here?
No, I'm here.
Good to see you. How's it going?
Good to see me. I mean, you. No, just kidding. Good. How are you?
I'm great. I just had Brad on here for about an hour, and we had a really interesting conversation. It looks like everyone's a little slow coming on the roundtable tonight. It's
a little slow?
So you just had a show. What was you just finished up a show and came on here?
Yeah.
So what was your show on tonight?
Ryan Graves being a hypocrite and why we're seeing so much Ryan Graves. I realized why, because now he has his own company he was been promoting for 3 weeks. So I also talked about ignoring the truth to support your friends at the top of ufology. That's what they do. The Ross Coultharts, the Bryce Zabels, all those guys. Gosh forbid they say something bad or something negative about one of their friends' shows, or, I didn't really think it was that exciting. I would like to somebody say something honest and said every time Jeremy Corbell comes out with something, this was a fantastic, unbelievable, no, it wasn't. It was awful. It was terrible. It was nothing. So I just want a little honesty. That's all.
Honestly, I don't even pay attention to what those guys are coming out with.
That's the best.
To me, it's like, I don't know. I feel like, there's definitely ETs here, and then there's what the military is doing, what do you think is going on with these UFOs being shot down? Do you feel that it has something to do with Project Bluebeam, our military, or aliens?
Well, I heard you say UFOs, and that's not your fault. That's the media, and that's a lie. Some people say the right things, but it started out as these were just objects, not UFOs at all. They said, well, how come we're not calling them UFOs? Because they're objects. They know what they are. They just don't want to tell us, because at the time they let that Chinese surveillance balloon traverse the country, and then they shot it down once it went off the coast. And then, apparently NORAD changed their settings so they could see smaller objects now, which is why they saw these other objects that they shot down. Then it turned into, well, they're not telling us what it is, so probably a UFO. And that's how that rumor got started. And then aliens, perhaps? No, it was just that they were trying to make up for not shooting that Chinese balloon down. And they knew the day that balloon launched, not 2 days after they first saw it on a Tuesday, then Thursday they let us know about it. No, they knew it 4 days earlier. They just never told us. We see everything. It's all a lie. NORAD didn't change their settings. What do you mean? Now they can see objects that are smaller than 30 feet? Are you kidding me? You know how stupid that sounds? It's a lie. It's a cover-up for the train derailments, the horrible economy, and the civil war and nuclear war that we're on the verge of. Amen to that, sister.
Yeah, there's just
that's
so
the
many
show
layers
right there.
Yeah,
that's the show. I'm done.
Agree.
Now that is the show. That's exactly everything in a nutshell.
There's just so many layers to everything that's going on right now. And Brad was just saying how he feels that, like you just said, that it's just this tension that is being built, and they're about to probably maybe do some sort of false flag, or who knows what's going to happen. I mean, do you think they might get into Project Bluebeam?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
This is nothing. This is nothing. That's the thing. People are making it more than what it really is. And it's nothing. It was just the Biden administration. Who knows if they shot anything at all? We don't know. They didn't even gather up anything yet. So, I just think they're covering up for the blunders and everything else that has happened those days before this happened. It was bad. I mean, we destroyed that train, which created a mushroom cloud. I don't know if you saw it, which contaminated that whole area. I know. So it was pretty bad. And, Biden's like, oh, they'll be all right. I drank the water yesterday. No, you didn't. Well, he didn't say that, but you might as well. It might fix them. That's how bad they lie. They don't even care about lying. They don't even hide it anymore. They just say it, and it's so. It's really gotten bad. And I talked about that tonight, too. Because in ufology, because now a lot of people are just going gaga over everything. And if they say it, it happened. There's no proof, but because they said it, it was real. That's where we're at now. I was afraid for drones. Forget the drones. People now say things and makes it so. That's where we're at. How do you combat that? You can't.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like even just the story of the Chinese spy balloon. It's like, what? Why would the Chinese need a weather balloon to spy on us? Like, there's already satellites that they can use. Like, why would they need a balloon to spy on us? They could just look at Google Maps and zoom in anywhere on Google Maps and see the same thing that they would get from a balloon. So I don't understand.
Because it's legit. Because the reason it doesn't make sense, because the media lied. It literally got caught up in the wind and got out of, that's it. That's exactly what happened. And people don't buy it. I don't even know if I buy it, but because they're saying there was a way they could control it and direct it with a rudder, or something on there. But I don't know if they're showing me a picture of that balloon. I don't know if they're showing me the exact one. So if it was a spy balloon, why didn't they said they didn't shoot it down when people saw it over Michigan or wherever the hell it was first. And then we find out a few days later, a week later, that they knew the day it was launched about that balloon. There's evidence that they knew. They knew all about it. So I don't know. Maybe the whole thing is about the train derailment cover-up, and maybe to get us thinking there's some objects up there. Because maybe there is a false flag alien invasion en route, because that is the next card in the deck other than an asteroid hitting. But I think that already happened, but it didn't. See, I think it was just a play on words that an asteroid was hitting the Earth or something. I think that, because that was supposed to happen already before the pandemic. It didn't. So
what do you mean it was supposed to happen before?
Well, that's the end of days cards that Van Braun talked about. Von Brand, whatever his name is, Brand cereal. Yeah, Quaker brand. So that didn't happen, and that was supposed to happen, then the pandemic, and then the alien invasion. So maybe it's just being maybe backwards, I don't know. But I think it was a play on words. And maybe the false flag alien invasion was the balloons, or I say balloons because everybody's saying it. Maybe it was the objects, and people changed it into UFOs. That's a false flag. It could be. Yeah. So you know what that means, Apolla? It's the end of days. Have you seen A Knock at the Door?
No. Is that a movie?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. I don't even want to tell you. It's about the end of days, but it's unlike anything you've ever seen. There's no zombies or anything like that. And you'll see, if you watch that movie, it'll make you think. That's all it's about. It's really cool how they did it. Good movie.
I actually just watched Red Dawn last night.
The original?
Yeah, no, not the original one, but the second one.
Which was good.
I'd actually never seen it before. And I guess when I was preparing this show and I was sending out emails the night before, I was looking at all these articles. And I think it was because I had the weather balloon thing on my mind. I fell asleep. And the before I woke up in the morning, I had this like crazy dream that these like Chinese soldiers were like coming in parachuting in. And I had actually never seen the movie before. And I was talking to Doc Skinner about him coming on today. And I told him about that. And he's like, dude, that is like Red Dawn to a T, what you just described to me. And I watched it, and it was like literally exactly what I saw. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I made last night, I made a prediction. And well, not real. I guess it was like I had the same dream 2 nights in a row. So I think, and I said last night, I think 2 planes are going to collide, because I saw what looked like, people getting thrown around inside like a container, like an airplane or a tube, Well, just so happened today, 2 trains collided.
2 trains collided today?
Yeah.
Where?
In Greece. 36 people died.
I saw that before the show. Oh, wow.
And okay, what rhymes with plane? Train. It looked. See, in the dream, I saw a lady, what looked like a stewardess type of thing, like a flight attendant, and it looked like she got pushed by somebody, but it wasn't anybody pushing her. It was just the explosion or the contact from the trains hitting and her, and that's what I saw. It was kind of cool. Yep. Yeah, and I could hear people screaming, the crashing, and then I wake up and go, oh my God, that was so real. Maybe I caught it.
Yeah.
See,
I think you did. I think you did. I believe you.
I predicted it on the show yesterday. But
wow,
I said,
you said it in the show before it happened?
Yeah. I said,
wow.
But I said planes. But I said planes.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Well,
I said,
I apparently predicted these soldiers parachuting in, so I hope that doesn't come true. Because,
I've been having end of days dreams though the last several months. It's weird.
And what do you think the end of days means? I mean, is it just like World War III and then we just all blow ourselves up and that's it? Or like, you know, are there people going to be leaving, going off planet or something? Or are we all just screwed?
We're all going to be screwed. And this war in Ukraine is ridiculous. Why we're involved in sending billions of dollars there is our tax money. It pisses me off, but that's for another show. But I think, you know, we're on the cusp of our own civil war. I don't think it'll happen, but it could. People are really on edge. And then you got the war and the leaders are on edge. And we have a leader who doesn't know where the edge is. And then we've got Putin, who's just angry he didn't get Ukraine years ago and he wants it back. And now China and Russia are combining forces, which is so bad for the United States.
Bad. That's really bad.
We have lost our what do you call it? Our hold on the power, the superpower. We're not number one. China is. And that sucks. And that's bad. And according to a lot of people, we haven't seen inflation yet. It's still coming. This bad. It is. But let me tell you, it's going to get so bad. And then there's going to be this huge disaster here in the United States, maybe like a dirty bomb. But I think they'll blame it on Russia or something like that, right? And then that'll start World War III.
You know, I just saw this article about something going on with Russia right before the show. Let me just pull this up real quick because I want to know if you had seen this. I didn't really get a lot of time to look at it, but this came out today, I think. No, yesterday. UFOs.
Oh yeah.
UFO shuts down Russian airspace as fighter jets scrambled and millions told to rush to nuke shelters in TV hack.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
That was a TV hack. It wasn't even an actual
right.
UFO.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna read a little bit of this for a minute just to so we have a better idea of what's going on.
I love it. Yeah, go right ahead.
All right. So Russia was hit by chaos as the airspace over one of the biggest cities was shut down over reports of a UFO, and millions were told to rush to nuke shelters in a new TV hack. The double whammy of disruption also came after there were reports of Ukrainian drones attempting to strike overnight in Putin's territory as the war continues to rage. Passenger planes from Pulkovo Airport in St. Petersburg were grounded today after reports of a mysterious object overhead, with military ordering the closure. Fighter jets were put up over the city that has not so far faced attack in the war and is 550 miles from the nearest point of Ukraine. The UFO, which is suspected to have been a drone, was heading towards the Gulf of Finland. Russian officials did not confirm the report of the UFO, but confirmed the airport was shut down. The state-run TASS news agency said airspace within a 124-mile radius of Pulkovo had been closed down until 1:20 p.m. local time. And yeah, so I guess that's
crazy.
So that's yeah. I mean, you know, they were just saying they pretty much just said it was a drone. I mean, maybe it was some sort of attack from Ukraine. I don't know.
What was that?
Oh, maybe it was some sort of an attack from Ukraine with a drone. I mean, what do you think?
You mean the TV hack?
No, they said there was a drone or something that went into the airspace.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Yeah, I don't think it was a UFO. I'm sorry. I was like trying to keep up with chat because I thought you were reading the same thing I did last night. But apparently not.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't read the end of it. I just read the beginning of the article. So,
But that is interesting.
what was the TV part of it? I guess I should have finished the end of that.
No, that was just nothing. It was just somebody hacked in and put that up there, and people thought it was real.
Mm.
But was it? They're saying it was a hack, but we've heard that happen
maybe
in
that's
Hawaii.
a cover up.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying. Remember in Hawaii a couple of years ago, the missiles are on the way.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, or Taiwan. I can't remember. It was weird. Yeah, that there was it was Hawaii. There were nukes on the way. In the what are the intercontinental missile?
Oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, it's news cycles. It's like it's crazy how like something that could be so major at the time, it's like a year later or something. Like it's almost doesn't even register. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So, have you been traveling this year? I mean, it's only March now, but have you done anything? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, I've been traveling all over for work and whatnot, but mostly, preparing for these conferences coming up. I just did the LA Conscious Life Expo 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And then I have Alien Con here in Pasadena.
That's cool.
This weekend. So yeah, I have a huge area actually. Like they gave me like a huge space to have my Sphere booth, and I guess it's gonna be kind of a meet and greet thing. So that's gonna be cool.
God, I wish I lived back in Arizona. Just now, I know so many people, and I move. That would be so cool. Yeah, there's some things coming up that I'm going to, but I have to go to Vegas, or I got to go out of state.
Oh, what do you have in Vegas? You have a
well, this one is Spaced Out Radio private party. I am sort of private.
Oh, that sounds like fun. When
is that?
I want to be invited. When is it?
March 14th. No, May 14th. Sorry. I believe it is May 14th.
I'll be just getting back from Japan.
Oh, wow. Oh, I wish I could go to Japan. What are you doing? TV, modeling? What are you doing over there?
So I have this like kind of self-mastery energy group that I'm a part of in LA called Soul Based Living, and all of us from the group are going on a tour there. So it's going to be really interesting. And part of it is like we all kind of had to because it's kind of like this self-mastery energy group, we all have to set up some sort of business meeting for ourselves or a photo shoot or whatever helps us with our work there while we go. And then we're also going on temple tours. So
wait, you have to get
interesting.
You have to get like headshots and everything like that?
No, I have to do something business wise for myself while I'm there. During the small amount, like I'm going to be there for over a week, but
okay,
that's kind of part of it. So I might be like meeting with an agency there. I've always wanted to get into acting in other countries, and I heard that getting into it in Japan is really awesome. So
I would love to do that. Oh, I'm so jealous. I would love to try Japan out to see how that would work. That's a great idea.
The plane tickets were pretty cheap, actually. Like I assumed it would be like over $1,000 or more, but it was actually like $800.
Wow,
round trip. So
what?
Yeah, I was like, "How? That's so crazy." Good. But
that's really good. Yeah.
Glastonbury in England. I'm doing a conference. Glastonbury.
Cool. Wow.
The first week of August.
Oh no, Stonehenge is in Wilfordshire.
Wait, no, it's in Glastonbury. Yeah, but I don't know if I don't think you can get close to Stonehenge.
You can. Well, I think you can get about 100 yards away, right?
Oh yeah, definitely go see that. Definitely.
That's kind of cool, though. Yeah, nobody can walk up to it anymore, right? Or only selected people.
I think if you're like in with the druids, then you can go there on the solstices.
Oh, right on.
So
that's cool. Yeah.
I would love to work that out sometime.
I got a question for you. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. What day is the first day of summer?
It's June 21st, right?
Is it? Because you know what it was last year? June 22nd. You know what it is this year? June 22nd. You know what it is next year? June 23rd. How does that happen?
I always
How'd they
thought it was
switch
the
it?
21st.
It is, but something's going on. It's the 22nd.
Well, it has to do with when the sun comes up on, was it like at a certain point?
Yeah, of course.
Planet?
For sure. Yeah, and it goes through the little openings and all that. Hit you right in the face. Yeah. 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 So why all of a sudden now is it the 22nd and then the 23rd and 2025? I don't understand it. Guys, you can look it up. I had to look it up. I was in an argument with someone over it. I'm like, you're stupid.
Well, someone just said leap year.
But I've been alive 55 years, and I've never seen a 22 and a 23 for the start date. I would have been through 4 leap years at least by now.
Huh.
No, I'm not buying it.
I mean, I feel like it has something to do with the way, maybe the Earth is like kind of changing on its, the axis wobbles. Maybe that had something.
Do you think that that's what the Mayans did? They got it off by just a day or two every 10 years, or I don't understand. It's very strange, and it's the only one. It doesn't happen in winter, spring, or fall. Just summer. They're screwing with us, aren't they? All right.
I mean, wait, I thought it changed for the winter one too.
Nope.
It doesn't?
Nope. I don't know. I checked. I thought only summer. It doesn't matter if it's a leap year. Yeah, arrows, Andy. That's not. I've never seen it before. Why doesn't it change the other dates then? It doesn't. It's always the 21st. Anyway, I didn't mean to create a problem.
I don't know. I just assumed it changed every year, I guess. But
you gave the answer.
That had normally been the 21st.
You would be right. Everybody says it. 21st. Because, September is fall, December, winter, March, spring. Come on. Next. I don't know.
I was about to call Blake and Brent are supposed to be on here tonight. Have you talked to them at all? They're supposed to be coming on.
I haven't talked to them in a week. I have been just going to sleep really, like 11:30, 12 instead of 6 a.m. So I haven't talked to them as much this year so far because I need to sleep.
Oh yeah, it's already like 10 p.m. in Florida, right?
It's 9.
Oh no,
yeah. It's only 3 in Hawaii right now. 3 in the afternoon. I just got to the gym 6 hours ago. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's almost sleep time.
That's crazy.
I had to take advantage of sleeping at normal hours because my health gets awful if I don't sleep. I am diabetic and it screws with everything. And they saw they're witnesses of it. Everybody is. So I have to sleep, and I've been missing calling them. Like the other night I was supposed to call, and 2 nights ago, and then I fell asleep. What am I supposed to do? But I feel great when I sleep, so I don't want to screw it up. Sleep you have to have. You have to have sleep.
Definitely important. I'm the same way. I have to have the right. But sometimes I can keep myself going for a really long time when needed.
I used to be
just
that way.
Meditate for like a little bit and then just back at it,
Yeah. I used to brag about how I didn't sleep at all one week. I've been up, I slept 2 hours last night, 3 hours the night before, and everybody's like, that's terrible. And I'm like, I'm fine though. I feel fine. Now I can't do it. I do it one night, I'm screwed. I don't know what's wrong.
I'm just laughing at one of the comments here.
Oh, okay.
Someone said cocaine.
It's not, it's this.
There you go.
I'm not used to this. Yeah, this is a new product I found.
I haven't been taking that lately, and my energy levels have been down, so maybe I should start taking that stuff again.
I've been bouncing for 2.5 hours. I haven't stopped.
Wow,
I'm so sorry. Yeah. I have 2 more hours to go, and then apparently I'll sleep.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So call them.
Yeah, I mean, I literally had like everyone was telling me they're coming on, and then a bunch of people canceled like last minute. I don't even know what's going on with that.
Because they saw I was coming on. It's true.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna call them right now.
They saw my third eye. See it? My zit.
Do you see my third eye?
Oh yeah, I always see it. It's huge. No, I didn't. You're too far away.
I am
But
a
what?
little further with this set.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm actually getting rid of this set soon. I'm gonna have to get rid of it because it's just taking up my whole home. So
Oh,
doing a different
I have an
situation with my
idea for
set,
you.
unfortunately.
Take a snapshot of it and then just make it your green screen.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Well, I have like a library in my home, and I'm thinking like it'd be
Oh.
cool if I just do it in front of my library with all my books behind me, and
I
I just
like
kind of
that.
like light them up really cool.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think that's kind of more my vibe. But I love my spaceship though. Everyone loves partying on my spaceship. Like anytime I have people come here,
Badass.
like it's just like it's kind of crazy because it's just taking up like. I mean, it's a huge living room, but you know, it's taking up a lot of it. It's like when you come in, it's just like, bam, giant spaceship, and
It's the best.
But yeah, might have to
It
take
is.
it down.
Look, my camera keeps going out. Like fuzzing out on me. I don't know why you're doing that.
Oh, maybe it's my third eye.
Maybe it's yours. Mine is
I
too
just
visible.
Shot it through the webcam at you.
You had to have. There's too much oomph in that one. All right, let's do this. There we go. That's better.
Oh wow. That's who's all in that picture again?
Well, you got
Do I see Jimmy Church?
yeah.
There? Who is he
Jimmy
supposed to be?
Church, Mick West, Neil deGrasse Hole Tyson, this
Is there
guy.
a cone head?
Yeah, that's Jeremy Corbell. Next to him is James Fox in the green, and then Christopher Mellon, then Greer over here, and then back here it looks like Bryce Zabel now. Yeah, Lou is Jesus. I don't know who.
Man.
There's
Who's Judah.
There's John Greenwald. There's George Knapp. Jesus Lou. I don't know who this is. Is that Dietrich? Alex Dietrich, the girl pilot? There's
I can't
Greer.
tell.
Corbell. That's funny. Who's that? Is that Church? That's Jimmy Church right here, right?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
What's
it
his-
looks like him to me.
Yeah,
but
that looks like him.
This picture is really small.
Oh, that is not him. That is.
Oh, it's not?
No, I thought it was.
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
from when he was like younger or something.
Nah, he's as ugly as he is now. Back then, yeah. Did I say that out loud? Oh my gosh.
I'm not supporting that message, but maybe.
Don't worry about it. He'll still come on your show. Do you really want to go on his show?
I mean, I don't know. If he asked me, that'd be cool. I mean, whatever.
Once he finds out you're associated with Third Phase or me, he won't come on. I mean, you won't go on. He won't have you on.
That's probably why I haven't been on yet then.
Did you ever talk to him?
Well, I was on the same radio network as him for a while. I was opening up for him.
Wait,
but
when? I opened up for... No, he opened up for me. That's right.
it was on a
Dark Matter.
KGRA
Yeah.
other year. Yeah.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was on Dark Matter Radio Network with him. And he opened up for me. Now we got the Paranormal Code with Rich Giordano coming up right now. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
He's opening up for me.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. Got a nice bounce off that too. Yeah, it was a good time.
Are you still? Is that network still going?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I
It's
had
weird
enough.
with all these like radio networks. Like, you know, when I was on them the other year, like everyone would be like, "Oh, so like what radio station is it on?" And I'm like, I don't. It's like an app, but still like. I'm like, I didn't even understand it honestly. Like while I was doing it, I'm like, I don't know. It's not like a station. I don't think.
It's
You know,
not.
it, like kind of is, but
It's not though.
not like.
Do you know right here on YouTube, we have the potential to reach 8 billion people. You know, that's what they say. They said, oh, we have the ability to reach 250,000 people every show you do. Yeah, right. That's why there's 40 people there, 8 people here. Come on.
Yeah.
That's all right. At least I tried it too. I tried it. It was terrible. I said, why am I going to give him all my views?
Well, I guess like coast to coast, like that's like kind of the real deal, right? Like you're If you're on coast to coast,
Oh,
that's
yeah. That's
real
the gold
radio.
star. It's gold standard.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any. That's what dark matter. When I was on Dark Matter Radio Network, we were waiting for Art Bell to come back. So I was going to be on the same network right after Art Bell, and I would be on right after. And Jimmy Church was holding the seat for Art Bell. But Jimmy Church wanted that job once Art Bell quit permanently after a few shows. And he also, then Jimmy Church quit Dark Matter as well. Very interesting how things played out. Jimmy wanted that job. He wanted to be Art Bell. He thought he was going to be the next Art Bell. Yeah. What? What did I say? It got quiet all of a sudden here.
Well, I'm not going to confirm or deny any of that, I guess.
Oh, no, it's true. I'm not lying.
Wasn't Dr. J was working with all that too, right?
Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know him back then. That's just so weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I remember when I would hear Dr. J, like, I didn't even think of who this guy was or anything, but yeah, it was a weird time. And then Art Bell quit for good. Then he died.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I don't know why I just laughed there. I was thinking about,
What happened with the brothers?
I don't know. Maybe they got the day mixed up. Maybe you should try calling them. Maybe they'll answer you.
They're not talking to me anymore.
What? Why not?
I'm joking.
Oh. Like, I wouldn't be surprised with all the trauma in the freaking disclosure community. It's like, you never know who hates who, like what day, But all of us at Third Phase of Moon are pretty tight, like that whole crew. So
Yeah, we're all tight.
yeah, we're super tight.
It's weird, right? I texted
I
them.
think it's that weird.
It is weird because usually after like a 6 months to a year, I mean, we've seen it with other people who came into the group and then.
That's true.
But other than that, this is there's like 8 or 9 or 10 of us that have stayed together this whole time, which is a lot of people.
Someone just said, "Who's Art Bell?"
Yeah, just tell them to look it up. Google it. They know who it is. Right? Don't you think anybody who's here in a chat room of ufology shows know who Art Bell is? You have to know.
A lot of the younger people don't. I would say like the people coming into ufology that are younger probably wouldn't know.
True. Yeah, I
There's
guess you got
not
a point.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But there aren't like that many. Oh, I'm not calling you old.
No, I was saying like thank you because that makes sense. Yeah, that made sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's interesting. There aren't really a ton of like super young people in ufology, I feel like. But I think there's kind of like different events that are coming out that are getting that generation more involved lately.
How am I wasted? Do I seem wasted to you? Don't answer
No. Did someone just say you look wasted?
that. Yeah. No, they said I am wasted. I've never been wasted my whole life. Like to the point of like passing out. Yeah, because I don't drink.
Not one time?
Not once.
You don't drink at all?
No, I hate alcohol. And I my last drink was on my 21st birthday. It was Sex on the Beach. 6 shots I took and a Long Island iced tea, and I didn't even get a buzz. I was so mad. And, it always upset my stomach or gave me a migraine headache. And I couldn't figure out why until years later because I'm diabetic and all that sugar. It would always give me a headache.
How old were you when you found out you were diabetic? I'm sorry, that's a personal question, but I'm just curious because I had a friend pass away recently who was diabetic and he didn't know it, and he died because he like didn't realize, and he was like 40 something and he didn't realize, and then they found out that he had gone into some sort of diabetic arrest or whatever it was called.
Coma.
Yeah.
I found out 9 years ago. And I tried taking the medication that they normally give people with type 2 diabetes. Type 2 means your body still produces some insulin. Type 1 means you need insulin. You don't take these pills or anything. So I take these pills and they made me sicker. And it's very common that these pills just don't work on some people, the medication they try. So I've tried now 3 different medications that people all over take and made me sicker. So I haven't been on medication all the whole time. But I've changed my diet the last 9 months, 7 months, almost 8. And my blood pressure's perfect now. And I still have issues, but diabetes, you never get rid of it. You can make your sugar levels normal, but I have diabetic neuropathy, and which means my fingers and toes are numb a lot. Like I feel like I'm walking on a sponge, and you know when your foot or hand falls asleep, that stinging, that's what it always feels like.
All the time.
Well, that's what it feels like when I walk.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucks. But I got used to it. Anyway, that's why I say, like, after 50, it's like, why live? I just don't get it. Your whole body breaks down. Seriously, what am I going to learn? Right? What am I going to see that I haven't seen yet? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, why?
Yeah, it's...
But I didn't come here to talk about that.
So, UFOs. So, I mean, I don't know, like, what if Blake and Brent. I guess they're not.
I texted them.
People that
I said you're going on
aren't doing it.
I said you're going on Apolla's show. She's waiting.
So, I mean, do you have anything else to get into on this topic? Like anything that we haven't talked about already?
Yeah.
I mean, how many were shot down altogether?
3, 4.
And
what's going on?
Are you like casting spells on my camera?
No, I'm trying to make the.
It looks like you're like casting spells.
I know, but I'm out of focus. I'm trying to get me in focus, and that usually works with my chipped hands. Come on. Give me a second. I got to turn it off for a second.
Okay.
Seriously, I hate this. I don't know why it's doing it. I cleaned it. See?
It happens to me sometimes too, but it looks fine on my end, so I don't really
blurry
understand.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. No. All right, I'll just leave it. Everybody else is going to think they need glasses. So you were saying?
Yeah, so it was over 4 UFOs shot down so far in America, right? But then there was some they were saying in other countries now.
Just China and Russia, yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
So that that's kind of weird to me, because if it's like, a media thing or like something that is like a false flag thing in our country or something, then why is it happening in other countries too? Like, is this all something that is being rolled out like as like some like one world government thing? Or
I think it's bullshit. I just think that they lied. I don't think anything got shot down in another country. And if it did, we didn't see it. So I'm not sure. I don't know what to believe. All I know is everybody is saying it, that it was a cover-up for the train derailments. And what's now another one? There's like been 4 train derailments in the last few weeks. Like, why? Somebody attacking our infrastructure, doing it to our, supply chain, and starting with trains, then it'll go something else, then ferries, then who knows where. Could be the beginning of the end. But it is weird. And that's why I think they're covering it up, because something is going on with the trains. I think that there is some nefarious activity going on within our country that could be terrorist activity.
What I don't understand is like, if it's like within our country, like this, like our own government or something, like why would they destroy the land and the nature like in our own country?
Right. Yeah. And that's why Putin doesn't want to use any nukes in that war over there, because he wants the land and wants to keep it pristine. But who's fighting over there again? Russia and who?
Ukraine.
Ukraine, that's right. I was thinking it started with a Q for some reason. I'm like, Quincy? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's been really crazy for me with all that because my ex, who was also my bandmate for many years, was out there in the middle of all that. And it was like crazy because I'm like hearing so many, like it was like everyone, the conspiracy scene was like saying like, like that none of like certain things were happening that were actually happening there. And then like, it's being overplayed on the other side of things, with like liberals or whatever. And like, it's just been so weird.
This is one of the weirdest years for UFOs so far, and it's only the beginning of March. It's barely March, right?
Well,
I mean,
and it's so funny because for years, like it was like conspiracy theorists or whatever were always the ones saying like, oh, aliens are coming, or ETs are real. And then now all of a sudden, like all the normies are like, aliens are here, and we're like, no, it's not aliens. It's like, what world are we in? What's going on?
a lot of people are going to that. They want to believe so badly that they're using it, for their advantage. They think they're covering up UFOs. Everything's about UFOs. I don't know. Hey, you go to other countries and stuff, right? Do you talk to anybody about this? And what do they think
In
if you
other
do?
countries?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I bring it up everywhere I go when I travel.
Oh, cool.
Usually when I travel,
Okay.
I'm always going to like sacred sites around the world. That's kind of my thing. I like to
Oh,
go on
all
like
right.
Tomb Raider kind of ancient alien missions.
Yeah.
So, I've been to like, Machu Picchu, like Peru, Egypt, Thailand. But I always bring it up
Wow.
when I go to these places. Actually, South America, they are very into UFOs.
Do they
ufology,
think
like,
that
they
we're
love it.
But do they think we're crazy over here for all the sightings, or do they know that we are reporting so many?
What do you mean, like right now? Like
The United
recently?
States is responsible for 85% of the world's UFO sightings.
I mean, I feel like in other places it's something that's kind of more common, just like in like, even more like tribal regions, like in their culture, like, but I don't think like, I mean, who's counting all those sightings? I mean,
I hear you.
yeah.
But so that was my question. Do they think the Americans are out of their freaking minds because they see so many, or do they think that we're invaded by UFOs? I didn't know if you had these conversations with natives of France, Italy, Portugal, Spain, and all that.
I haven't
I'm
been
just
to like
curious.
the mainland Europe yet. I like I said, I
Oh,
pretty
okay.
much usually go to like third world countries, like in like
Oh,
ancient tombs, and that's like my
I hear
I
ya.
don't, yeah. So but like the culture, like just like the culture in Peru, like they're like really into UFOs. And I mean, they have all their ayahuasca ceremonies where they think they communicate with interdimensional ETs, I guess. So
I'm so
it's just
jealous.
like very real to them. And then I mean, in Egypt, my tour guide was kind of always ragging on me the whole time because he was an Egyptian tour guide. He was Egyptian, and like he knew that I was into like ufology, so he would just go to different sites and be like, oh, like you ET people say this about this site, and like he like felt like the pyramids were built by like Cheops or whatever, and he was kind of making fun of me the whole time. But I
That's
mean,
funny.
it's crazy. Like, there's places there where it's like, how can you? I mean, there are literally like depictions of UFOs
Yeah.
and on the ceiling in Abydos, which is the most ancient site in Egypt, from my understanding, unless they've discovered something older since then. I mean, it's so old that like the Nile River used to be right on where this temple is, and now it's like a mile or two away from the Nile.
So it's like about
moving over
10,000
time.
years old.
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause-
Maybe older.
Yeah,
Probably.
it would have to be because they found now that there was water with the Sphinx around 10,800 years ago
Mhm.
when the big flood happened. So that makes sense. It's older than that, probably. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, there was like this one room I was in there, and
Where?
in Abydos in the temple, and like that site, it's really hard to get there. Like most tour groups don't take you there, but we were lucky enough. They're like, you know what, we're gonna go today, do a side trip, and go there. 'Cause
Why
you have
was
to
it
go, like,
dangerous?
it's just like really far out, and like, you know, it's not like kind of along like where the main you know, tours up and down the Nile go.
It's off the beaten
And
path.
yeah, it's kind of hard to get to. And so I'm so glad I was able to make it there. But yeah, there was this one point, I mean, you can just tell it's like way more ancient than these other places there, which are already
Yeah.
very ancient. But there was this one room, or it was almost like a hallway, like a stone hallway they took us into. And there were like these guards with machine guns in it. Like they didn't really want people coming in there, it felt like. And they were like, okay, now look down this wall. There's all these engravings, markings going all the way down the wall. And they were like, okay, so from the beginning of this wall all the way down is the all the pharaohs and all the kings from the beginning of the new kingdom up until, you know, the end of the Egyptian like dynasty or whatever.
Right.
And it was like all the way down the wall, like all these like, you know, inscriptions of all these names. And I'm just like, wow. And then they turn us around. They're like, okay, now down this wall is all the kings from the beginning of time up till the end of the new kingdom. And it was like just all these like ancient carvings going all the way down. And like just all the way down a whole other wall. And I was like,
Man.
this is incredible.
God, I
it
love
was
that.
like, it gave me chills. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I can't imagine being there. That must have been amazing.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back again soon.
You know, I'm
But,
really upset right now that nobody else has shown up other than
Me too.
Brad.
I literally had several people confirm with me, and then like some people like right before the show, they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't come on today." Like 5 minutes before.
It does.
So,
It
like,
makes me a little angry. And I don't know who those people are, but maybe it had to do with me.
I don't know if it. Yeah, that's what I had to think. Like when I was like, inviting people on, I'm like, you know, I had to like think about the drama and the community and who to like decide.
Can
with,
you
like,
put in the
not-
private
like, why?
Can you tell me in the private chat who one of them
all
was?
invited?
Well, just who canceled? One of them anyway. I just want to see if it was somebody that I'm not in good standing with.
Well,
I mean, there's only 2 people now left. That's it, or that matter. Yeah.
I mean,
I made up with a lot of
well,
people.
I asked for well, Jim Goodall and John D'Souza told me they couldn't make it, but I wanted them to be here. And then Michael Dark Hour Paranormal, basically everyone on the crew. Doc Skinner was supposed to be here, but he's had some Wi-Fi issues. Blake and Brent said they would be here. Invited Dr. J. I'm not sure what he was saying, and I have Mary Edwards, who's this NASA, or she designed the space station. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was all. Am I missing anyone? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause
I thought you would have a lot of more people here. I'm a little upset because I got to get going in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, you know, I will actually maybe just go ahead and end the show if you want to go ahead and
If
close
you
it out
want.
with me, because
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'm actually going to go see Cocaine Bear tonight, and I'm really excited about
Oh, no way. It's supposed to be good.
it. Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been
I can't
excited about it for a long time.
It's based on
Like,
a true story.
I've been trying to get people like hyped up for it, and everyone's like, I don't want to go see that. I'm like, why not? Like, why is no one as excited about this as I am? Because it's like, what? Like, I guess a bear took a bunch of cocaine and went on a rampage. Is that?
It's
I
a
don't
true
know.
story. Yeah.
I'm like, how is that a true story? I mean, I didn't look at any articles, but I mean, how did that even happen?
I think it had to do with drug cartels, and it just got a hold of 1 kilo, I think, and it snorted and ate it all. And then it went nuts. Something like that. It's true.
The
Yeah.
bear snorted it all.
Yeah, like a lot of cocaine. And I think it dies from a heart attack at something like that. I don't know.
Oh my
but
god.
Or they kill it. Yeah, it was. I don't know the whole story. I purposely stayed away from watching anything because I want to see it fresh. And I think The Mandalorian started tonight.
Oh, really? No
Yeah.
way. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Season 3, I think today
Oh, wow.
started. Yeah. Oh my God, that's right.
Well,
Yeah.
awesome. I guess
Well,
I'll go ahead and close this out
all right.
then. I mean, is there anything you want to say in closing?
No, I think that ufology is in a place right now where it's very confusing. There's a lot of different things going on right now. So I hope we can get our shit together, figure it out, and find out who's telling the truth and who isn't. Because something's going on and something may be happening really soon, especially in March. So keep your eyes and ears open. Yep. And that's it.
Well, thanks, Richie. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. See
Thank
again.
you.
Come back on anytime.
Oh, I will. I will. All right. Thanks, Apolla. Take care. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Well, that was a really great conversation with Brad and Richie here. And hopefully we'll do another one of these again soon. So before I go, I want to remind you all to please go ahead and check out my art, which is over on shamanspears.com. I have these energy channeling devices, which I invented myself. They're all filled with copper coils, crystals, magnets, and santalite from sacred places around the world. And they're very powerful for amplifying energy. So definitely check those out. I think the prices are very reasonable with them, and I do next day shipping on all orders. And I'll actually be selling them over at Alien Con in Pasadena this weekend, which is going to be an awesome event because different people from History Channel's Ancient Aliens are going to be there. Obviously, a lot of UFO fanatics from around the country are going to be there. And I have a huge area with my spears set up there. So I actually have like a 10 by 10 space, I think. So that's going to be really cool. I'm going to be selling my latest collection of the ultraviolet collection, Shaman Spears. So definitely come check those out. Come say hi if you're in the LA area. I'll be there all weekend. I think it goes all day, every day this weekend. So yeah, hope to see you all there. And thanks everyone for joining me tonight. And until next time on Apollo's Odyssey, over and out.